the hole. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the barbecue. What's going on?
Let's get after it. What's going on, people? I haven't made a video in the past couple weeks. I started making videos, but then I got caught up in my day and I was running a lot of just odd stuff and everything and hours and whatever, and I got screwed up, man. I'd start filming a little bit here, a little bit there. I guess I could throw it in, you know, but it's just the beginnings of things and I never come back to it. It's kind of lame. But as of right now, I am in Marshalltown, Iowa right now. I'm going to go over, give you a breakdown. Finally had a chance to get out and run a solid 2 weeks in the truck being fixed. Finally. I mean, I got out, was moving a couple weeks before that too, so I can't say I haven't been moving at all, but I was just sitting here going over my numbers, what's going to be done. It's October 31st, Halloween today. It is just about 6 in the morning. I've been up since about 4:30. Woke up having to take a raging piss. And I was like, oh, and you know, when you wake up that, like, I gotta take a whiz, man. Like I said, I gotta wake up in the middle of the night nowadays and take a whiz. I don't know. I'm getting old, man. So, been a busy couple weeks. Been on the move. Go over my numbers. Now, by the miles, I guess it won't seem like a whole lot, but my times and everything have been screwy. I've been driving all night and doing sleeper burst splits, and I've been tired, and things have been kind of screwed up in that way. But I'm going to give you the breakdown because the way the pay periods work at the place I'm leasing on with run bi-weekly, 1st to the 15th and 16th to the 31st, you know. 31st today. I've been here since noon Saturday, still waiting on this load. It's a load of fresh pork from the JBS plant up here. They take forever. I read reviews on the place before I even got up here and everything. I never loaded at this JBS before, but they are notorious for taking a day to 3 days to get your trailer load, if it's a live load, you know. A lot of places deal out of there, of course, doing preloads. You know, you get Prime Inc. and all that kind of stuff. They drop their trailers and it's all dropping hook. Anyway, I only got my trailer, so I'm waiting. Gotta wait. But the rate's worth it. And I'll go over all these numbers now. I went through and dialed up all the math and everything, and Selena and I were talking about it, and actually not a bad 2-week breakdown. This load getting loaded late, he may take mercy on me because it's got to go down to Texas, so it's a 2-day roll. He may, because he does his own factoring and all that stuff too, he doesn't outsource it, so he may take mercy on me and pay this load right now too, since it's going to be delivered after the 1st, but he may still pay it. But typically, whatever you turn in by the 31st, end of the month, gets paid on the 7th. And then whatever you turn in by the 15th, gets paid by the 22nd. So it's like the following week, it pays out. So let's go over these numbers. I was looking at them, man, it's actually not bad. A lot better numbers than we ever turned running team. And we're making a lot of money running team, but, you know, the rates right now are just killing it. That I'm making better money as a solo right now doing all this than we, or at least average to what we did as a team with Landstar and stuff. So start off with load 1 though. This started on the 15th. I think I picked this load up on the 16th, so everything started rolling from there. But I picked up I was in Springfield, Missouri, where I dropped. That was the last load that got paid out on my last settlement. So we started from Springfield with Deadhead to go to Springdale, Arkansas, and I went to San Antonio, and that was for $3,500. 1 pick, 1 drop. Then from there, I deadheaded down to Laredo and took a load it was a 2-dropper going to Walmart in Terrell, Texas, and then up to the Walmart in Pauls Valley, Texas, or Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. That was for $3,000. Then from Paul's Valley, I deadheaded home because he had high-paying loads out of Texas already, and I was like 300 miles from home at that point, and it was like, why waste extra time, because he had loads waiting, and I just threw it out there. I go, dude, I'll just deadhead home. I'd rather make more money than spend an extra day or two around Oklahoma trying to find something than try and drop it and everything. So from Paul's Valley, I just deadheaded home, spent a couple days at home, got a reset in, and then from there I took a load out of Texas, from Texas to Lincoln, Nebraska, South Sioux City, Nebraska, and Hampshire, Illinois, 3-dropper for $7,000. Right. Then from Hampshire, Illinois, I deadheaded. It was like what 150 miles to Coal Valley, Illinois, and picked up a load of frozen hamburgers. Going to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to Gordon Foods up there. That was for $2,000 on 318 miles. So that was a good rate. That was like $7 a mile, just about. Got up to Grand Rapids, dropped that one. That's where my screwy things got in. It took all night, and then it was middle of the night. I missed my appointment for the next one out of Spring Lake, Michigan, going back to Sterling, Illinois to Walmart. So that turned into a whole thing of my hours being screwed up and everything, and I had to get back over there. I ended up making the appointment at the Walmart distribution center in Sterling, Illinois. So Spring Lake, Michigan to Sterling, Illinois. Got that one for $1,600 on 276 miles. So again, another high rate, short hopper, you know, back over there, deadheaded, then from Sterling, Illinois I had to deadhead over to outside Chicago there, Geneva, Illinois, like right around Aurora. Went to a Lineage, cold storage place, picked up a load of ice cream, and it was going to, from Geneva, Illinois, going to Mount Sterling, Illinois, which is down further south, like just up where like a little over 100 miles from St. Louis. But that was only 245 miles, and I got $1,800 for that one. All right, so that's the last one I finished up. From Mount Sterling, Illinois, he found me a really nice load. Had some extra deadhead on it though. Back up here to Marshalltown, Iowa. So I just deadheaded up here. That was 250 miles of deadhead, but the rate is good. Marshalltown, Iowa, going to Lufkin, Texas. Right, it's a load of pork for $5,500 on 865 miles. So overall, really nice averages. And like I said, I'm going to drop this one after the first. So, because now it's been held up. But like I said, he might take mercy on me and just pay it out if I can get it turned in. He might pay it anyways. So we'll see what happens with that. So because these loads, because I've been held up, would have been, like this last load would have been in there for the most part. I went ahead and put it in with my average right now. For the past 2 weeks, on what I've run in 2 weeks, I ran 4,169 loaded miles by the time I get to Lufkin, with 960 miles of deadhead. So overall, a little bit extra deadhead. You want to, if you could, you can tighten it up. But the rates are great, so you can eat some deadhead. If it all works out, eat that deadhead, make the better rate. Don't sit there and try to, save a couple pennies to short hop around so you can get to that great rate. Sometimes it's worth just, like if you're stuck in Florida and there's no loads, start moving, man. Just sometimes you just got to move out of a dead zone. So, but even then, if the rate is good, in the past we've deadheaded. Hell, we deadheaded 1,000 miles one time for a rate. It was worth it. It was like, because we were sitting in, we were in Denver, and it was loading out of southern Michigan, and we're sitting in Denver with nothing. And then through the Midwest right there was nothing going on either. And it's like we could either take the 7 or 8 or almost 1,000 miles from Denver to go anywhere, like back to California or something like that, or go to Michigan and pick this hazmat load up one time. And it was paying like $6 a mile. Like, yeah, screw it, man. Let's deadhead. We're not going to burn that much fuel, So we did it. Anyway, overall, my total revenue for the 2 weeks, $24,400. right? Now, let me explain. Like, oh man, you made 24,000 bucks. Well, almost. I get 70% of the rate because I haul this guy's reefers and he takes care of all the maintenance on the reefers and all that, right? The truck is my responsibility. The reefer is his. So he takes 30% for the factoring, dispatching, and the equipment. And, you know, cool. Things I have to cover are my own truck, my truck fuel. I could cover the reefer fuel, and I pay an insurance premium. And he did give me a base plate because I didn't have my own at the time. So he takes a deduction for the base plate too. But I get 70% gross of all the revenue. So my revenue, the gross revenue, $24,400. I made my 70%, $17,080. All right. So let's go over that. So a total of 4,169 loaded miles. Gross average $585 a mile. Okay. After the 30% gets taken off, 4,169 loaded miles, my average was 409. 409 a mile. I mean, that's some banging rates. You're lucky to, like a couple of years ago, we were scraping to get $2 a mile. You know, so these rates right now are really up, and it's like, take advantage of it. If you got working equipment, move, go get the loads. Okay, so 4,169 loaded miles. Now, if you average in the deadhead, 960 miles of deadhead throughout the 2 weeks. All right, so you're talking 430 miles a week, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, 5,129 total miles on everything I did. Brought the gross average to 475 a mile. My cut, my 70%, my net per mile to the truck was 333. But again, I have to pay for my own truck fuel, diesel fuel, insurance, and I got one payment left on this base plate. So, but overall, you take all that. Now, I haven't gotten the total numbers on my fuel yet. Selena's got all the receipts. But if you take 17,080 bucks and cut off probably in the past couple of weeks a few grand for fuel, my truck payment is low. My truck payment with my bobtail insurance included in it, my truck payment is only like $280 a week. So truck payment's low, everything. So if you take a few grand off of fuel, truck payment, insurance is $425 every 2 weeks. So $850 a month for all the insurance, the liability. 17,000. I'm probably going to pocket 12 to 13,000 bucks. So you're talking 6 to 7,000, 6,500 net cash in my pocket after everything gets paid. So 6,500 bucks a week. We stay out here, stay moving. Granted, you get some downtime like right now, but overall, when we were doing the garage door contracts with Landstar, pumping it all the time, 7 days a week, and we just kept going. We were netting actually even less because we still, after we got our settlement, usually it was like 6,500 to 7,000 bucks, and then we had to take our truck payment out of that. So we were actually making less running full-time team for Landstar than what I'm doing right now, which is crazy because we thought we were banging it. I mean, we were making good money, but the effort was much higher. Nowadays, it's not that I'm not out here working. I mean, I'm working. So I'm bumping this crap out, running. But now that the truck's out of the shop and we're finally starting to move again, and we had 4 months of downtime, I estimate I lost $100,000 to $120,000 of revenue, pocketable revenue. Like, we lost out on $100,000 in the bank by being down for 4 months. Could have had this truck paid off, been debt-free totally, everything. Been investing in Bitcoin and real estate right now instead of playing catch-up, you know, putting Band-Aids on bullet holes for 4 months. But knocking it out pretty good, though. I'll keep making my $6K a week, man, $24,000 a month on average. Yeah, you can get a lot done with that. You can start really banking up a lot of money. Like I said, I only owe $17,000 on this truck. I mean, I get a couple of months in the bank, and I'll pay this truck off. Be debt-free with it. Then, if I want to go buy a second truck, I mean, I don't even have to hire a driver for this thing if it's paid off. You know, my bobtail insurance is super cheap. Just keep it, you know, at the yard. I can keep it as a backup truck if I get a second truck, and just have it sitting there waiting for me anytime I want. You know, if my other truck has problems, has to go in the shop, and I don't feel like taking time off at that point, just turn around, put that thing in the shop, jump in this thing, and go. You know, keep making money, have 2 trucks. Or, you know, we've floated the idea of hiring drivers eventually or something like that. But then it's like, well, drivers are really hard to come by, especially decent drivers. And then you got all the headaches, and you know, if they screw your stuff up, or constantly in the shop doing whatever. So, but anyway, yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks, and hopefully everything's picking up good. You know, I've been trying to fix the truck up a little bit more. I do have some cosmetic things I got to do to the truck. Mechanically, it's been doing fine. I got here on the right side of the truck, when I got the filters cooked, you know, not to slam on the dude, but he didn't put my bearing piece back on the side right, and it's missing some bolts now. It's been shook loose and everything. That my metal step sleeve piece on the bottom is still missing. I got to find one of those, get the bolts and stuff. The shroud piece underneath the hood, the fender shroud that curves up, you know, to the splash guard, that's been busted. I think I went through a really hard pothole puddle one day and it got blasted real bad. So it's under there and coming loose, so it's wavering a little bit. Of course, the fairing piece from when we had the truck towed a couple months back, still got to replace that. The parts, it's down at Freightliner in Lubbock. They got it. I just got to go get it. So as soon as we get paid and everything, and I'm looking to cosmetically get this thing back up to snuff. Maybe I'm thinking of getting a new bumper where I hit a deer last year. That's still, I put a new piece on and everything, but it's still rickety. I don't like it. Maybe I was thinking of going buying a new bumper piece, a new chrome bumper possibly, but also put a deer guard on this thing. I'm going to be running it at least in the next year. I'll be running this truck because truck inventory is crappy right now. They're not even, you know, they're estimating equipment to get back to even semi-normal levels of parts availability and all this kind of stuff. They're talking about next year, next summer. You know, they're not even, new stocks of new trucks are not even coming out. They don't have the parts for them and everything. It's like, if you can get your hands on a new truck, and then the prices of them, I mean, they're really going to reap what they sow next year when truck availability gets better and parts come back up, hopefully. That they're charging like $250,000 for a brand new truck right now. You go look at a brand new W9, $265,000. Whereas last year, the year before, like 2019, they're 160, 170. I mean, you talk about inflation and everything. The crunch is coming down. There's no new truck inventory coming out. A lot of even large carriers have bumped their 500,000 mile mark on their trucks before they trade them in. They've bumped them up to 750,000 now. They're having to extend the life of their equipment and run them well past the warranty, well past their due date, before it turns into, like, they trade them in. They become fleet sales for guys like us, you know, like this truck, an old JB Hunt truck. So if you do come across a deal with a truck, but also consider the engine model you're getting. Like, I know Detroit and I believe Cummins, but I can't speak for PACCAR. I don't know. I think Detroit, though, all the sensors are in real short supply. You're talking about oil filters. If you can find the means to go find some oil filters and just store them, you know, keep them on hand, throw them in your side box, and just keep a couple of oil filters with you for a couple more services, because they're talking about oil filters and shortages on so many things coming up that it's going to cripple trucking. Plus, I know everybody, oh, don't talk about that, but the mandates and everything and whatever they're talking about, you know, the average from American Trucking Association was losing over $80,000 or 80,000 drivers within the next couple of months because they're quitting, retiring, whatever, and getting out of the industry because they don't want anything to do with this anymore. And so you're talking about $80,000, which out of 3 million drivers, it doesn't seem like much, but it's a trickle down. You know, overall, you start peppering these losses across the whole scene, because there's different sectors of trucking too. Like, I've seen things on, you know, that they're blaming the port delays and stuff on truckers down there. Like, there's not enough truck drivers, and it's like, no, the ports have enough drivers. They're all wanting to work, But when you look at a different, that's port work. When you're looking at a different segment, like gas tankers, they're short on gas tanker drivers because a lot of guys don't want to do the work for the money they're offering, you know. So wages are going up, and they're trying to get guys that are trained to do hazmat and fuel tankers. I used to do fuel tankers for years. Yeah, wages were stagnant, and people started. I could make more money doing something else, dude. And they would actually get out of trucking because they didn't want to do fuel. So I was like, man, screw all this, I'm out. Because wages have been stagnant for years, and now they're starting to go up. So take advantage of it. You know, the only thing is when, like right now, everything's inflated and rates and wages are going up. You know, just even get people to work at McDonald's, they got offered $15 an hour now. Just even get people to show up, if they even want to show up after they get offered more money. It's like half time they don't even show up too. But thing is, this inflation goes up and all these wages go up and stuff, and then things curb off and say we have a big crash. The shitter is, it's going to really hurt everybody too, is like these employers aren't going to be able to come back and say, oh, we're dropping the wages. No, you ain't. Like, people are like, you got me making $35 an hour now to drive a fuel tanker instead of 22. It's like, nah, dude, you can't do that now. It's like, you took from us for years, we ain't putting up with this crap no more. So, and then same thing with these rates, you know, just to be operational and be able to afford all the maintenance on these trucks nowadays, because all these trucks, another big thing's coming up too, is parts for these trucks. Well, a truck goes down, which trucks, of course, with DPF systems and everything, they're going down more and more in quicker time than a truck that gets out and runs, you know, 500,000 miles before it really has. Like, you know, before DPF systems, what was your biggest concerns? You know, engine rebuild, tranny drives, you know, basic overall stuff. But the emission systems have just like doubled or tripled the amount of maintenance these trucks need because of all the sensors and electronics and whatever. So, and sensors they need. But when a truck goes in the shop now with part shortages, and it has to do with the electrics and the sensors and the DPF system, trucks that used to go, no, it'll be a couple weeks. Now it's a month. Now it's 2 months waiting on parts. Now overall, you take a percentage of trucks that go down, like say 10% of fleets nationwide lose 10% more of their trucks because they're down further on capacity, or down on parts. You know, they can't, the supply chain is so backed up you can't get parts, that a truck that would go down for a couple of weeks maybe is now down a month or two. That's a truck that gets taken out of the system. Well, you sprinkle that across the whole entire industry, and you lose 10 or 15% of the trucks that used to be available more quickly are now stuck in the shop, not running anymore. You know, think of the effect that's going to have on goods being able to be delivered. And where the driver shortage really comes in is in this kind of work, like over-the-road work, because nobody wants to do it. It's not a desirable job. People are not coming into trucking in droves. You know, it's the average age of a truck driver now is like my age. I think it was like 48. I saw another thing. I can't remember if it was OIDA or ATA, something. Anyway, saying that the average age of truck drivers was 48. And then the one I saw the other day, that what they're expecting, the average age of truckers is going to go up to 53. Because younger generations, Gen Z and millennials and stuff, they're not getting into trucking. They don't want to do it. And so you got a younger population that's just either staying at home, opting to do other kinds of work, whereas guys like me that have been in this for a long time now, we still keep doing it because it's just what we've been doing. But would I prefer to go do something else? Yeah, I'd like to be home. You know, shit. I can find something else to go do, you know. But these rates right now, I'm going to try and capitalize. We're looking at the next few years capitalizing on these rates, possibly getting another truck, because this truck's a plastic truck. I don't know if it's going to hold up a few more years without really fading out, unless I just put it in part-time use. But maybe a brand new piece of equipment. If I could find a new W9 eventually, run it for a few years and then sell it, you know, it's still going to be worth a lot of money. So new W9, new 389 maybe, good solid truck. Cummins, maybe a PACCAR, I don't know. PACCARs are coming up, but I like a little bit more beefiness to the motor. You know, the little 13-liter motors are good for just doing groceries like this, reefers and stuff, but I'd like having a X15 Cummins, you know, 565, 605 horse, 1850, 2050 torque, 18 speed, you know, 336 rears or something like that. A good over-the-road truck that's solid. You pay in the fuel mileage a little bit, but overall, it'll just be a better truck. And then have the warranties and everything to back you up for time, and just chasing the payment instead of all the maintenance all the time too, hopefully. Anyway, if you have the ability to get out here and make some good money, do it. You know, you saw the rates. I'm doing good. Just make hay while the sun shines. That's the thing I always say to myself. Make hay while the sun shines, man. And we're in a point now where things are way up. Go make your money. All right. So I'm going to get out on that. The sun's starting to come up. Kind of. I don't know. Time's going to change here pretty quick, isn't it? Like it's after 7 in the morning now. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. I've been out for 25 minutes. 7 o'clock, you know, roll back an hour. It'd be 6 o'clock right now. Sun starts coming up kind of thing. So it's kind of like when you shift over to winter, that you like when the sun comes up earlier during the winter, so you can get moving earlier a lot of times. You know, I mean, you get moving in the dark anyways, but it's nice to get your day started earlier and get off the road earlier before it gets pitch black out in the winter and say it's snowing and ice and all that kind of stuff. That I like being off the road while the sun's creeping down. Like, you know, you get to that winter solstice, I think, whatever, and where it's like getting dark by about 16:30, you know, 4:30 p.m. It's like on those days through that back end of December and everything into January, before you start seeing the minutes start creeping up with the sun again. It gets past 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever, coming towards spring. But yeah, it's nice to just be off the road early, get going early. You know, it's just usually better. So anyway, let's cash it out on that. Go make hay while sun shines. If you have the means to get a truck, by all means, go get one. It's going to be hard to get one for a while, especially even Lone Mountain truck sales. You know, they used to have hundreds of trucks on their site, like this one that I got. They have nothing. They have no stock. They have a couple of used ones, and they're asking like 20 and 30,000 down for a 2017 Freightliner. And it's like, up yours, dude. Screw that. Like I said, you all are going to reap what you sow next year if truck inventories come back up, and people are going to be like, you know, you try to keep these prices up, and no, screw you, man. I ain't paying all that. So anyway, hope everybody's having a good day. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. I'll put this one up right now since I'm just chilling, waiting on my call to get my load. As soon as I get the call, I'll try to start making some video to put up in the next day or two. Again, I suck. I always suck. So, all right, have a good Sunday. Check back later. Out.
With turquoise and real diamonds. Fuck!